Hello?
Hello, is this Bernie Worrell?
Yes.
Hello, Bernie. This is Dustin Wellness from KMSU Radio in Minnesota.
How you doing, man?
Glad to have you on the show here.
Thanks for having me on. Hopefully I can hear good. We're on the road in the van on the way back to Jersey.
Okay, well, I think it sounds pretty good. We'll ask you a couple questions here. First of all, I'm here with my co-host, Ton.
Hey there, Bernie. How you doing?
Fine. Good. And you?
I'm great, thanks. Glad to have you here. If we're ready, let's get it started.
Okay.
Well, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about how you met up with George Clinton and formed Parliament-Funkadelic?
I met him through a barbershop. I used to sneak out of my mom's home, out to my bedroom window, and go down to the barbershop to get my hair processed. And that's how we initially met. I heard that there was this doo-wop group in Plainfield. My parents had just moved there from South Jersey, from down by the shore. And so I wanted to get out and hang with the hoodlums, as my mother would call them. So I was brought up pretty strict. So I would sneak out the window anyway and go try to hang out, initially to get my hair processed. George was a barber. The original Parliaments were a doo-wop group and sidemen, I guess you would say, as hair processing.
Huh. Never know what you might run into when you're getting your hair done, huh?
Well, the barbershop is a neighborhood gossip center, whatever, what have you. In all areas, all parts of the country. Just like the beauty shop for women, they go and gossip and,
Sure.
Yep.
Well, when you were making those albums with Parliament, can you tell us a bit about what the recording process was like? I mean, did you guys write a lot of stuff beforehand, or was it just kind of made up in the studio? Or
George would have the lyrics, but mostly we would just jam in the studio and come up with the arrangement. George did the lyrics. I did the keyboard work, most of the arrangement work, except for early Funkadelic, when it was Eddie Hazel and Billy Nelson, Tal Ross. This before I joined Funkadelic. And then when I came into the picture, I kind of brought the classical training into the realm of things and a little more, let me say, it wasn't as loose. Tighten it up.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Sure. Well, that was such a large group of musicians. Was it difficult keeping everything under control with having so many people playing on so many projects at that time?
At times, yes, it could be. But George has a knack of knowing what combinations to put together. We would both say, well, no, let's use this one for that on drums and this one for that on guitar. Another situation, depending on vocals also, we would just kind of know which combination would work. And then also the material. So George he's just got the intuitiveness how to put what would fit whatever situation and what vocal situation it should be for Rise of Funkenstein or Parlet or for Funkadelic or Parliament, and on.
So now, you used a Mini Moog synthesizer quite a bit back then, is that right?
Yes, I still use it.
And so can you talk to us about kind of why you wanted to use that rather than some of the other bigger things like the Hammond organs or, something of that nature?
Well, I used the Hammond. I was using all of it. Hammond, baby grand, Steinway, acoustic piano, electric piano, clavinet, harp string ensemble. The Moog came into play with the bass line. Like Flashlight is all Mini Moog. Flashlight is all my playing except for vocals, drums, and the saxophone solo. Everything else is the Mini Moog. Bass line and the other three. There are two more Moog tracks cartoon voices. And then there's the ARP string ensemble, which is a synth also.
Wow.
So that wasn't the only one, but I did it had the sound, and I utilized that for the bass lines on One Nation, Flashlight, Aqua Boogie, Stat Moog, Bob Moog's signature keyboard, which is now evolved into his offspring.
Sure. At the time when you guys were in the midst of things, did you realize how revolutionary the band would become, or how many people over the years would be influenced or sampling your stuff?
No, we didn't think of anything like that. We were just playing, working, and just using the gifts God gave us and having fun and playing. Never knew Flashlight was going to be a hit. We weren't thinking that way.
Sure.
At the moment.
Quite a few years after, you had a lot of rap artists like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all those guys really kind of built careers on songs that you came up with. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's an honor to have your music kept alive, and it's still being kept alive, and it's still going to reach other generations, and it's still influencing people, even this generation, and those who haven't heard it before and get to see it live. They're being turned on as we speak. And I think we never, you don't know what's coming as far as technology. So what happened was a blessing. It's keeping the funk alive.
Amen.
Say amen.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys.
This is a P-Funk interview. I didn't know what.
No, I was just going to kind of transition. You guys did a lot of great things with Parliament-Funkadelic, or you were a big part of that for quite a while, and then you ended up working with the Talking Heads. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Well, I took a little hiatus from P-Funk, and got a call from Jerry Harrison, keyboardist from Talking Heads, and he asked me if I'd be interested in working with them. And I said, well, who are you? Because I've never hadn't heard of Talking Heads, or I've heard of new wave music, but not a whole bunch of it. I know the Ramones, but they invited me to come to the studio in New York and listen to some of this stuff, and it was interesting what I heard. Then we jammed a little bit, and I said yes. I was interested. And then I saw how they kind of worked similarly, how we recorded in the studio and jammed, some prepared riffs or licks, and then the freedom to play what you felt, and to add to what was already there. And so, which they knew, that's what I was there for, also to bring the flavor, which I found out later, which I kind of knew already, because they enlarged the group with, I'll say, people of color. And out of their mouths, well, I hear there's a quote that I brought fun and took the stiffness away from the group. And so the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, they went on to be Hall of Fame members as well. So, I mean, you definitely...
Right, I voted for them.
There you go.
Of course you did. Yeah, so I mean, it's obvious that the things that you're a part of are definitely produce great material. At some point, you even ended up working with Buckethead and Les Claypool. Is that right?
Right, Colonel Claypool's Bucket of Burning Brains.
Yeah, and what was that like, or how did you get set up there?
Well, Buckethead, I knew Buckethead from years before. We were close friends. We met through Bill Laswell, who co-produced some of my solo CDs, and I do a lot of work with Bill Laswell too, with material. So we were both on a Laswell project, Buckethead, myself, Bootsy, Collins, and Brain, the drummer Brain. And I got a call from Claypool's people to see if I'd be interested in the project he just named. And I had just met Claypool maybe some months before that, I was in the West Coast recording with somebody, and he heard I was in town. He came by the studio, and next thing I know, I got a call, and that was that. I don't do a lot of detail. I go to the point because, that's...
Sure. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Right.
Well, you're playing with the Bernie Worrell Orchestra right now. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Bunch of great, young, eclectic men, and half of them are asleep right now. Driving. What can I say? They bring me energy, inspiration. They are multi-talented. They all have students. The one, Mr. Cadena, who's driving now, is a recording engineer also. They play all different types of music, not just one thing. They play all genres, which is very much interested me because I don't stick to one thing. And so it all came together through Evan Taylor, who put it all together and came to management with the idea. And that's how it started and how it's going, and it's growing.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. You're on tour right now, and you guys have a show in Minneapolis coming up April 10th.
Yeah, when is it? Oh, April 10th?
Yep.
Okay. Right. A lot of stuff. I don't have the calendar, and I tell management, tell me a couple of days before. Because I'm just getting into. I have an iPad, but it's not my forte.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I'm not sitting in front of a screen all day.
Yeah, tackling the technology.
Yeah.
Well, is this the first time the orchestra has been on tour around Minnesota? Or I know you've been here before with other groups, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's the first time they've been to Minnesota. Yeah, I've been there loads of times. But yeah, it'll be their first time in Minnesota. As far as I know, they might have been there individually with some other stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the show. Besides that, is there anything else you have coming up or anything you're working on?
Oh, you really want to know? Okay. We'll get home sometime this evening. Got about 13 more hours. We're coming from South by Southwest. I have about 3 days off that I go back to Japan. With Steve came out. I've been to Japan 3 times in the last 3 months.
Wow.
It's my third time. Be over there for about 4 or 5 days. And then we have a West Coast thing, I think 4 or 5 days. I don't know. You tell me after I wake up on the plane with Steve on the West Coast. And I get back, and I think I might have 2 days or something like that. And BWO picked me up, and we're out for a month and a week or so.
Man,
and then
awesome.
after that, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Now we've got bookings, and I've got stuff through July. Stuff is still coming in, and so I thank God for the work. It's a blessing. And I'm trying to keep up with the youngsters.
Sure.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a good job of it.
Well, like I said, the inspiration and playing with Steve and playing with BWO. I like the variety of stuff. It keeps you fresh, new ideas. They just met George Clinton. George Bucci and myself were together for the first time in a while on a panel at South by Southwest. And so then there's talk of a reunion, but I'm not going to say for sure because I won't be there unless the business is right. Anyway, if it does happen, one of the stipulations is that BWO will be on that tour and will open or whatever slot. Else, they can kiss. I'm not going to say that, but I'll see them later.
Yeah. Sure. Well, yeah, it sounds good. I mean, hopefully you can work something like that out. That'd be great. I'm sure the people would love it. But
it would behoove them to.
Yeah.
Work it out.
So yeah, it's been really great having you on the show. Do you have any parting words for us?
I want to tell the kids thanks for supporting live music. Not just the kids, adults, teenagers, college students, those who can afford it to come out and have some fun. Times are rough for everybody. So no matter what walk of life you're in, or whatever kind of job, but thank you for supporting live music, and be safe, and help make it a better place to live. Watch out for the children.
All right, excellent, Bernie.
Because if they don't get it together, Mother Nature is going to show you who's in charge.
There you
She's done
go.
it already. All right.
Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you for having me. Maybe, hopefully, depending on when we get in, we can have the guys down to the radio and do a little, jam. Not jam. Have them get on the radio, if that's possible.
Yeah, that could definitely be possible. I'll have to just keep in touch.
All right. I don't know the routing yet, so.
Sure.
Actually, I know. I just don't remember.
Sure.
I don't handle that. I have to look on the calendar and say, "Oh, we're here next."
Sure.
But they're more proficient at that than me. But I think that would be nice if we could all go to the radio show while we're there, in between sound check. Scheduling. That's going to be the stinker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can figure out.
Okay.
Well, again,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We are huge fans, and it's been great having you on.
So thanks for having me on, and keep the funk alive.
All right, we will.
BWO funk.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks a lot, Bernie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.